Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Squared Up Coffee Break webinar on free SCOM essentials that you really should be using. My name is Matthew Long, and I'm joined today by two special guests. I'm joined by Bruce Cullen from Cookdown.
Hello.
And I'm also joined via the power of the internet by a man who needs no introduction to the SCOM community, Tao Yang. Tao, can you hear us?
Yep. Hi, everyone.
That's always the most nervous part of any webinar. Do we have everyone with us?
Is this working?
Yep. So I'm not going to labour the point too much of what we're going to talk to today because Bruce and Tao are going to take us through our topic. But essentially, we're going to talk about the hottest SCOM essentials that you really should be using. Some of these you may have heard of before, and they've been have some updates that's worth talking about, and others will be probably new to some of you, and we definitely recommend you check them out as soon as possible. But with that, I'm going to hand over to Bruce to introduce Cookdown and take us through our topics for today.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Matthew. So thank you for that brief introduction. I'll start by giving a bit more about who I am. So I'm Bruce Cullen. I'm the Director of Products at Cookdown. I started out in software at a company called Citrix. I'm sure many of you will know. I started as a software tester back in the day and then moved on to project management, release management for the Zen App and Zen Desktop product line, now called CVAD, for cloud and for on-prem. I then moved to Squared Up, where I was program manager for releases like 4.0 and 3.4. And now I'm here at Cookdown. And as Matthew said, with me is Tao Yang. He is a multi-time MVP in Azure and System Center. I'll dig more into Tao's background in just a second. But first, let's address a key point, which is who the hell is Cookdown? Some people will have heard of us, and we've been going since March. But there'll be some folk who have no idea who we are and why we're here on a Squared Up coffee break. So let's start with that. So we are a spin-out company from Squared Up, and we are here to tackle SCOM's biggest challenges. It's clear from anyone that's used SCOM that it's a great platform, very powerful, but it needs some love and it needs some integrations. To unlock its kind of true potential. It truly is the best of breed monitoring tool for on-prem, for Windows especially. It's a great tool. Squared Up are focusing on their core vision of dashboarding, but over the course of working with SCOM, came up with some really cool innovations that didn't really have a logical home. So some of those things you will be familiar with already, and other bits and pieces you won't have been, because we've only really recently released them under the Cookdown banner. And that's us. So to summarize, we, Cookdown, are entirely focused on SCOM. We love SCOM. We think it's the best thing ever. And what better way to introduce Tao than with Cookdown Loves SCOM? So Tao, I've already said he's a multi-time MVP. He's a consultant in the Azure and the SCOM space, System Center space. He's also a speaker. He, back in March, stood up on stage with Richard Benwell, the Squared Up CEO, to cover 20 SCOM tips. So I've been around the SCOM space and the Azure space for a very long time. He's also the author of the Self-Maintenance Management Pack. So Tao, it's great to have you with us today.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you for taking the time to join. I know it's really late there. But to get us started, it'd be really good to hear a bit more about you and what your involvement is with SCOM and System Center. So how did you kind of come across SCOM in the first place?
Okay, so I started working in SCOM around SCOM 20 when SCOM 2007 was just released.
Long time ago.
Yeah. So I've been doing SCOM for since then. I've been doing SCOM for many years, and then worked for a where I got really deep into SCOM was back in the time when I was working for one of the largest retailer in Australia, where they had like over 40,000 devices monitored by SCOM. The reason I started writing this self-maintenance pack was I was the only one maintaining the entire environment, and I really hate repetitive tasks.
Yeah, who doesn't?
So I was trying to find a way to make my life a bit easier. And then one day I just had this light bulb moment where, like, SCOM itself is an awesome like workflow tool. I believe a lot
Yeah.
of the maintenance daily tasks can be automated within SCOM without using a third-party automation tool. I had this idea, and then I start building this management pack at my spare time. At that time, my daughter was just born, so my wife spent all her spare time look after my daughter, and she set a rule that I can't watch TV at night because it makes noise. So so then I spent a lot of my spare time at night working on this management pack. I still remember back in the days, and so it took me a few months, and the version 1 was released sometime around 2013, and just all went from there. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. So what sort of things does the self-maintenance management pack actually do for those who aren't familiar with it?
So it provides a set of rules and monitors looking for things like, let's say, for example, manually closed monitor monitor alerts. It does some SQL maintenance jobs for SCOM. It does management pack backups. There's like the few performance counters that gets collected and provide some discoveries and some performance counters and dashboards and visuals and etc. So the list is got longer and longer as I start building it. I can't even remember the full list now, just because it's so long.
It is pages and pages.
So you can find the full list. I believe it's fully documented. So when you download the management pack, that should come with it. So
sounds good. And I guess for anyone that's not familiar with the management pack, so the current shipping version is version 2.5. And when did that first become available?
I think it's 2015. So 4 years ago.
It's quite some time ago. Well, that's a really useful piece of background, and thank you for sharing. And it leads very nicely on to our exciting announcement for the day, which is a really great piece of news for anyone in the SCOM community. I know that the self-maintenance management pack has been highly used and well regarded across SCOM for years. And so we're really proud and excited to launch the self-maintenance management pack. Version 3.1 launches today, and you can get it right now from cookdown.com. And the best thing about it is free, along with a whole bunch of other management packs that we'll talk about a bit later on, which is really good news. So go get it now. It's live right now. So Tao, I guess 2015, quite some time ago now. What's new in this version?
So this version came with a new name. So the old version had like SCOM 2012, like 2012 was embedded in the name. So I completely rewritten the entire management pack and manually tested every single rules and monitors and making sure it works for the later version of SCOM, like SCOM 2016, 1801, 1807, 2019. So all these versions are fully supported. I retired the 2007 version of the management pack, and together with there was an OMS add-on pack shipped with 2.5 that's been obsolete. So that's been removed as well. I've added several new monitors and a few bug fixes. And also the biggest pain point, I think, back in the days, like in the old versions, was like someone need to manually go, because everything is disabled by default. So people, when you start using the management pack, you need to manually turn everything on. So I provided a quick start override management pack, turn a lot of stuff on, and then set a default value. Then so makes your tuning process a lot simpler.
Which is obviously a very good thing. Awesome news. So one final thing to address on this. Why is this new version available from Cookdown?
Okay, so my focus has been shifted to Microsoft Azure over the last 3-4 years. To be honest, this version, I started working on this version a couple of years ago, and it's been sitting on the shelf for for some time. I just simply don't have time to maintain this nowadays. So when Richard and Cookdown approached me and want to take this over for me, and then after some consideration, I've decided I think it's going to be I'm placing this in a good hand, because I know SquareUp and Cookdown are very strong in the community, and has got the skills internally to support this from now on. So I've decided to take Cookdown over. So Cookdown acquired the management pack for me, and from now on, Cookdown is going to be offering support and then maintenance. From Cookdown.
Yes, it's a really big deal for us. We're super excited to have this management pack in our catalog. You know, we think it is a key SCOM solution, and again, obviously, is free. It's one of those solutions that we think should be on every SCOM management server in the world, along with a few other bits and pieces that we're going to cover later in this webinar. Which is why, you know, we think it should continue to have a home, and we should continue to develop it. So as I say, go get it from cookdown.com right now. It is free. And if you have any feedback on it, go to SquareUp's community answers site, and we check that frequently for anything you guys have to say. And with more proof that we really do love SCOM. It is a great platform, and we are committed to investing in it. But that said, there are still some key issues with SCOM that need addressing. So I guess, Matthew, what is the largest issue you're aware of with SCOM?
It's probably the same thing that comes from its single biggest strength, which is the huge amount of depth of monitoring you get, which is also, of course, a curse when that huge sort of fire hose of alerts comes your way.
Oh, absolutely. Nothing like the full inbox of emails from SCOM. Yep, you've hit the nail on the head. When people think of SCOM, unfortunately, they think of it as a spam engine, because all that the vast majority of people see is what hits their inbox, which is a real shame. As everybody knows, SCOM's management packs offer really detailed monitoring, which should obviously be a good thing. There's so much value in what SCOM can deliver. And the reality for most customers is they don't need all of the monitoring that it gives you for everything out of the box all of the time. The thing we hear most commonly is, I just want to hear CPU, memory, and disk. And the answer should be simple, right? You know, we'll just tune SCOM, right? How hard could it be? Until you speak to any SCOM administrator who has had a go at doing this for real, it's about 10 clicks per workflow, and a management pack can include anything from kind of like 10 to multiple thousand workflows, you know, so 10 clicks times 10,000. I don't know how long that will take you, but it will be in the region of days. And it gets worse if you want to do it for two groups.
It's great if you're a SCOM consultant.
That's true. Good for the SCOM consultants, not so good for the SCOM administrators. The traditional approach to tuning that you know we hear from our customers is, on one side you have the SCOM administrator, and on the other hand you have the domain expert. And together they'll sit down and go, well, what do we actually want to monitor with all the various management packs that we have in SCOM? And the reality of it is it ends up looking a bit like this. So the SCOM administrator will go, well, this is what's available to tune. The domain experts will go, great, this is a list of 2,000 things. You know, I don't know what to do with this exactly. And there'll be a sort of to and fro process where between them they work out what they want. If the SCOM administrator pulls up the SCOM console, it's even worse, because the domain expert instantly becomes less interested in it. They don't really care what the SCOM console is, looks like, and does. They just want CPU, disk, and memory without knowing exactly what it is they're asking for. So that's the traditional approach. And then at the end of it, the SCOM administrator will end up with a bunch of overrides to go and set in SCOM, and they've got the 2,000 clicks required to set them. So then they'll have to spend days, weeks, you know, doing this. And then at the end of it all, if the domain expert is still engaged with the process, there'll be, you know, rework, like, oh, what about this one? Or I didn't get an alert when this happened. So it can be a very frustrating and time-consuming process. And that is where the next one of our SCOM essentials comes in, Easy Tune. So it's another free solution from Cookdown. and it's here to tackle the problem of alert tuning once and for all. Problem solved. You can tune an entire management pack in one click. Really powerful solution. The overrides that it can set contain some community curated best practice from our community store. I'll tell you a bit more about that later. It's really intuitive. You have within each tuning pack levels that you can select from that allow you to set things like the level of monitoring, everything from discovery only. So in other words, if it's a workflow in a management pack that isn't a discovery, turn the thing off. More or less the same as turning off all the monitoring in that pack and tuning up on a per level basis. So we actually recommend that at a global level, customers set their tuning to discovery only and tune up on a per group or per object basis. Per group is recommended, per object is not, but sometimes there is a need to do that. So how does it work? So the desired overrides are stored in what's called a tuning pack. You would typically have one tuning pack for a common piece of technology. So for example, SQL 2016. Tuning packs contain multiple levels, and because of the format, they're stored in CSV format. These are essentially columns in a CSV file, which means it's really easy to actually get on board with EasyTune. There's no kind of arbitrary random format. It is just Excel CSV files. So how is it used? So it all starts with EasyTune, which is a management pack that's installed into SCOM, and it consumes these CSV tuning packs. The SCOM administrator and domain experts together can review and curate these things. Because it is, again, Excel, there's no kind of like arbitrary format or anything custom to kind of come up to speed with. It's all a lot more intuitive. And as I mentioned, there is the community store, which is in fact a GitHub repository. And the community at large can contribute to it with best practice and overrides that have worked for them. And we're constantly working on this community store in building up our offering here, so that what comes out the other end, which is management packs containing overrides, are sensible overrides that can be used. So that's a lovely piece of slideware. Great. Let's see a demo. That's what it all comes down to.
Give us the demo.
Give us the demo. Absolutely. So if I can find my cursor, you see the SCOM console here. This is SCOM 1807, but this will work with 2019 all the way down to 2012 R2. You'll see we've stuck a node in the administration pane, EasyTune Cookdown. And underneath it, you will see the tuning packs. So the first thing you see, aside from a list of the tuning packs themselves, is two things. There are some that come from our community store and some that come from what's called a local store. So that's really important because it means you don't just have to take what's been created by the community. If you want to do your own thing, you can copy community tuning packs locally and edit them, or you can just go and create your own random ones. You can tune at multiple levels with these tuning pack actions here. You can tune globally, you can tune a group, or you can tune a specific object. And it's really easy to do. Let's tune SQL Server 2012 globally. So I select the tuning pack, I click tune globally. The next thing you're shown is a list of tuning levels. So these are, remember, just columns in a CSV that EasyTune is reading. So the first thing to say on these levels is discovery only and MP default are available with all tuning packs. The EasyTune product creates these levels for you. When we create tuning packs using the product, we can tell what the management pack you're tuning intended in the form of their defaults for each of the workflows. So we mind them. It's really useful to have this level for wanting to restore the management pack author's recommended tuning, which is really useful where, over time that tuning has drifted. We also have discovery only, which we programmatically generate that level. Really, for us, it's anything that isn't a discovery gets switched off or tuned away. And then balanced, essentials, and full are levels in the CSV. So if I select the full level here, this is a bad example of a management pack to pick because I haven't actually got this version of SQL in my environment. So I'm going to change to SQL Server 2012, go tune globally. I'll pick discovery only. And the first thing you'll see, if I expand this wizard, is we tell you the management packs the workflows we're going to tune are contained in, the list of workflows themselves, the defaults, and what we're going to set it to. So there's a large old list here. We hit next. We're asked for where we want to store those overrides. So this is at the moment just reading from the tuning pack. We store those overrides in a management pack, obviously in SCOM. So it's Microsoft best practice to create a management pack for each set of overrides. So it's really clear what exactly has been done. If you just hit next, finish, that's exactly what we will do. We'll create a new management pack. And on the knowledge tab of that management pack, we will give you that summary that I showed on the previous screen. So it's really easy to see what exactly is in that management pack. But sometimes customers like to specify a different location from the default. So you can check that box to do that. If you hit next, you get a summary of what's going to happen. You can see we're tuning globally. We're storing the overrides in this management pack, sensibly named. We've selected the discovery only level, and this is a summary of what exactly we're going to do. I'm not going to hit finish because it will take about a minute, so I'll have to sort of verbally dance while SCOM does its thing. But trust me, you hit finish, it takes about a minute, and your desired tuning level is set. So however many overrides you have to tune, that's then done. So you've saved hours of your life. So that's great, I hear you cry. But what happens if you don't want either a value in a tuning pack that already exists, or you want to tune something that isn't currently available? So that's fine. We give you the option to create a tuning pack from a management pack. So if I click this option here, you're asked to provide a management pack that you want to tune. And this can be one or many. So BizTalk I like to do because it's a bit of a weird and wonderful example. I know customers still do use BizTalk, so it's a valid use case, but it's a bit more off the beaten path than some of the likes of SQL and IIS. So if I select those, and we're going to effectively capture all of the workflows from those management packs, along with their default values, and store them in a tuning pack. So then we give the tuning pack a name, BizTalk 2013 tuning pack. Specify stick a description in there and an author, and you pick a location to store it. So the default location is that local store, which is effectively a folder. So I hit create, it will go and create, there we go, that tuning pack, .csv. So essentially there's no wizardry, it is just a CSV file, really important piece of this solution. So let's open one up. The other thing you'll see is it's appeared in the local store list here. So instantly I can go into this thing and tune if I want to do discovery only or the management pack default levels. But what's more common is somebody will want to go into this and set a custom level up. So I have in another tab opened up this SQL CSV file, which I picked because it's the largest file in the list. It's over a meg. But obviously it works for any of them. So this is what a tuning pack actually looks like. As you can see, it's an Excel file. You've got the management pack that the workflow is contained in. You've got the workflows themselves. You have the workflow type. You have the display name of the workflow, plus its description, plus its override parameter. The type of parameter, is it a Boolean, is it an integer, etc. And then the custom value here, true, false, 1, 2, the default value even, sorry. You then have a custom column. So this is where your levels come in. So if I want to add in another level, I just, edit workbook, edit in browser because I haven't got Excel on this machine. Yep. Let's see if it'll let me save with the online version a CSV. Let's see. Maybe not. Well, edit workbook, there it is. Convert. Well, that's what I did. The joys of doing live demos.
The unexpected Excel demo halfway through.
Bonus add-on. So yes, these are just basically custom levels you can add in. So if I want to add in a new column, insert column and call it, Bruce's magic level. Whoops. I'll even fix my spelling. How about that? And then you could just simply go in here and type whatever you want. So let's turn a few things off. Let's do one more. And then you save this. Save as. Let's just see if it will let me save a CSV with the online version. It may not. This may not work as expected. All right. So as long as that saved it as a CSV rather than an XLS, I should just need to go into EasyTune, hit refresh. Let's see if it's worked, or whether it's created an XLS. It's created an XLS. Ah, the demo gods are not with me today. It doesn't matter. The original tuning pack is here. You could see in that tuning pack we were looking at, there was a level called custom that didn't contain anything. So if I go back into here and, I've already got this one tuned globally. Let's tune a group. You will see that custom level is here. So it's reading those columns from the CSV file. So it's a really powerful solution. Just to recap, it lets you tune at a global level, a group level, and at a specific objects level. That's great, but I've already got effective overrides set before EasyTune came along. How do I handle that? Well, the good news is in the Pro version, which unfortunately is not free, but isn't big money in the grand scheme of SCOM, you have these migration actions here that allow you to capture your effective overrides from wherever they live today. So if I want to capture my effective tuning from a group, I pick the group from here. Let's go with Windows computers. That's not the group I'm after. Let's just see the list. There's not too much in our demo lab, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. And let's find the Windows computer group. A Windows server group even, let's find. Windows server, that computer group, that will do. If there is tuning applies to the specific group, the list of management packs will be displayed here. So here we go. I've got some tuning applied to Windows Server 2008. If you have a list of 10 here, for example, and you don't want to capture the effective overrides from one of the management packs shown, you just hit remove. So a customer recently had overrides in the APM management pack, which they were planning to deprecate. So they removed the management pack from the list. You then give the tuning pack you're going to create a name. This was Windows Server Computer Group Tuning, 24th of September. And you hit create, and there we go. One tuning pack created. It's better, typo and all. There we go. So then you're showing the local store, which is my folder. And if I go back into EasyTune and hit refresh, when it's done its thing, you will see there it is. So I can go and tune from that. So that's really useful for capturing effective tuning from a group that you like the tuning of. Let's say you want to apply that same tuning to a second group, or if you're migrating between SCOM management groups, really valuable tool for that use case. Migrating from an upgrade from SCOM 2012 R2 to 2019, for example, is a common one. You can simply capture your current effective overrides, copy the CSVs across, and you're in business in your new management group. As long as you have the same management packs, good times. The other thing that's really cool about EasyTune is the notion of detecting configuration drift, this column here. It's made easier to do in the Pro version, but some of this is in the free version as well. So the first thing you'll see when you click on a tuning pack down here in the detail view is a little colored blob. Green for good, warning triangle for not good. What this is showing me is that at my global level, I've set in EasyTune discovery only. But the reality is some rogue SCOM admin or whatever, some junior, maybe me in a past life and forgotten that I've done it, have set some overrides in another management pack. And this is showing me that there is that problem. So if I drill into this, you get a list of all of the workflows, what you had intended their level to be set at and what's actually effective and whether there's drift or not. So if I click this show that a bit slower, show only overrides with config drift, you see the workflow that's been set to something other than what you had intended. So I had intended to set this one to false. Someone's gone in here and set this to true, incorrect value. This tool will show you that. It will show you where there are overrides missing, where the effective override is coming from another management pack, which is a good indication of conflicts, basically, which is really valuable to know about. Because if SCOM has conflicting overrides, you get a fun flip-flop effect that's really, really fun to troubleshoot. But not just that. If we double-click this, we get the properties of that override, the incorrect override. So I can see that my colleague Nathan has gone in here. Nathan, what have you done this for? You've set up this monitor to collect disk space on the 30th of March. If there are notes in there, you'll get those too. You also can see the management pack in which this override is stored. So basically, you get some help in working out what the hell's going on and why, which is super valuable. The other thing you get in EasyTune Pro is the ability to tune via PowerShell. So the vast majority of the magic I've shown you using the UI is accessible via the PowerShell SDK as well. But really, the vast majority of this, the ability to tune, to create tuning packs, all of this stuff is available in the free version. And yeah, it's again live now. So go and get it. It's really, really valuable.
So the local store is where you put all your tuning packs, but I'm assuming in practice, rather than it being local to your machine, you would pick like a network share somewhere.
Essentially,
and then because they're just CSV files, you could permission those and say, well, look, engineers are allowed to come in here and modify these, add tuning, and that becomes part of your workflow process, rather than they come into SCOM and mess with it that way. You have a central location, they do that stuff, and then they tune it how they want it, with or without your participation. And when they're done, they can let you know, you import it, and then you can review that it's applied and if the drift's right.
Exactly that's spot on. So yeah, we recommend that you set a UNC path rather than go with a local file location, as I've done in my demo naughtily. And as you say, the benefit of that is decentralization. Then the domain experts can go away and modify, review, look at those tuning packs without you, the SCOM administrator, needing to do anything at all, which is really awesome.
And because the new level is just a column, anyone can just right click and say, look, we've got a gold standard tier now, or we've got like this particular group or whatever.
My SQL Teams magic tuning level or whatever, it's all possible. It is just a CSV file. You can just chuck in columns as you see fit. So there we go. It's a really powerful solution. And as I say, it's available for free right now. So that is EasyTune. So that's really cool. So just to go back to slides now. There we go. So that's great. But what else do Cookdown do? So in the SCOM Essentials lineup, our suite of products for SCOM Essentials, we have EasyTune, which I just showed you, the self-maintenance pack version 3.1, which is new today, and obviously free. And there's a pro version of EasyTune too. Self-maintenance pack is free, but that's not all. We have the ability to author monitoring in PowerShell, which I believe you actually wrote, Matthew.
Yes.
When that was originally from Squared Up.
It's an excellent management pack, and I'm not biased at all on that particular
Of course, completely unbiased review there. I'd expect to see, maybe I can get a quote for you to stick on our page. That would be great. We have also the Community Management Pack Catalog. So this one's really, really valuable. So obviously, Cookdown can't solve all of the problems of the world of SCOM, but the community does a very good job of doing it. So everything that's on here is free. Again, it is a free management pack itself, and it is essentially an app store for management packs. And obviously, the PowerShell management pack is free as well. But that's not all we do. We have products that integrate SCOM with ServiceNow. We have an alert sync product that takes those SCOM alerts and pushes them up into ServiceNow, allowing you to automatically raise incidents. We have a discovery product, which is all about populating ServiceNow's what's called the CMDB, Configuration Management Database, which is ServiceNow's source of the truth, if you like, as to what your IT estate looks like. The traditional approaches to filling that thing up involve network crawlers, opening ports in firewalls, tipping passwords and account details into some tool or another. But you, as a SCOM owner, have an agent on everything that SCOM is monitoring, essentially, even the things that SCOM is monitoring without an agent. So, all of that hard work and all the security fun is already done. So why don't we just use that data? That's the whole premise of the Discovery product. And we have a mapping product that joins the dots in between those individual configuration items and pushes those up into ServiceNow in the form of relationships. Again, SCOM has a hierarchy. You can relate objects in SCOM to each other in Squared Up using the Vader technology. We take advantage of that technology and let you push up your Squared Up created enterprise applications into ServiceNow in the form of business services or any other form of service in ServiceNow for that matter. And again, because you have SCOM agents everywhere, we use the power of those SCOM agents to discover what's on each of the boxes the agent is running on, to join those dots. And again, radically simpler than the traditional approach. So those are all part of our ServiceNow connector suite of products, but each of these is a separately available product. I don't have the time today, unfortunately, to go into the details of each of these products. But if you head over to cookdown.com, there are demo videos of these things. We also run occasional webinars going through the details of these products and innovations. And if you like what you've seen from Cookdown, head over to cookdown.com. We're at hello@cookdown.com, and probably the place we're most active is Twitter, which is @team_cookdown. And that's everything I have to show today. So I hope the content we've shown has been valuable and you get your hands on these free SCOM essentials. And we really do think these are essentials, and that they should be in every SCOM management server in the world. And we want to keep them free because they solve some key SCOM problems.
Yeah, if anyone was looking at that previous slide and thought, oh God, I never want to tune and push my alerts from SCOM into ServiceNow, that sounds like a world of pain. It's a world of pain if your SCOM environment isn't tuned.
Correct.
So if you ever tried that and failed, I highly suggest pulling down Easy Tune, tune your environment, and then try again, and you'll find it's a much more valuable exercise.
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons, to be honest, that we made EasyTune free. We were talking about not doing that for a time. But really, as you say, if you're going to be pushing those alerts up into ServiceNow, you want to be pushing alerts that make sense, not just everything under the sun.
Yep.
It makes that integration and therefore ServiceNow a lot more successful.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go.
Cool. So I'm going to just sort of wrap us up now on the outro. So hopefully, as Bruce was saying, you found that content useful. If you have some ideas of what you'd like us to cover, if you found a really cool integration or made SCOM do a really cool trick, then let us know what you'd like us to cover via our community site. So if you go to community.squareup.com, that's our Q&A sort of platform, and we lurk there and sort of see what people are talking about and sort of scrape that for good content, or maybe see some questions that aren't getting answered and think, well, how would you do that? And then answer it, and that fact-finding exercise becomes a coffee break. So please do give us some feedback that way. We love hearing from you about what sort of things you'd like us to cover. If you thought this coffee break was cool and you want to sign up for future sessions, maybe you've come across this via YouTube, if you go to squareup.com/coffee-break-series, then there's a sign-up form there so you can get notified when the next coffee break's scheduled. Make sure you're here live so you can get your questions answered by the engineering team and get sort of the first scoop on what we're talking about. The recordings and slides are published via our blog, so go and make sure you check that out, along with a huge wealth of other great content around SCOM and Squared Up and sort of things that are happening in the ecosystem as well. So no doubt you'll find some Cookdown-related posts there as well.
Oh, yes.
And there is a YouTube playlist, if you can memorize that URL, that contains all the previous coffee breaks. It's definitely worth taking a look at that because we have actually covered a couple of these MPs that Bruce has talked about today in the past, most significantly the PowerShell MP. There's a video on that on there. There's a deep dive into the community NP as well, which really is just a great one-stop shop for solving virtually every problem you have with SCOM. So I'd highly recommend you go and check that out. And there's a couple of 100 hours there maybe of us talking. So if you like the sound of our voices, it's definitely a good place to go.
Lucky you. Before we move on to Q&A, just wanted to add to that. If there are any other SCOM pain points that you guys are aware of, we're always interested in your feedback. So let us know again via community answers or one of the methods on the previous slide. So hello@cookdown.com, for example, or Twitter. We're always looking for new problems to solve, and Cookdown is here to stay, and we're here to fix up SCOM's key problems.
Cool. Thank you very much, Bruce. Right. So as mentioned, we're going to go on to Q&A now. The Scale-Up engineering team, along with Cookdown's engineering team, have been busily answering questions in the chat. So I think we've gotten to most of them already. If you have a question and you're on this live, feel free to post a question into GoToWebinar now. If you're watching this on YouTube, then feel free to either post a question under the video or get in touch with us via all our social media, and we'll be happy to answer your question. So thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you, Bruce, and thank you, Tao. And we'll see you next month, guys. Have a great one.